Hey everyone, welcome back to the b8ta TV studio for another live episode of b8ta Insider. I'm your host, Noelle. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to get into our conversation today about VAIO. Now I have the VAIO Z laptop here with me that I know that you guys are going to love to learn more about. And we're going to bring in Eric Hladilek, who is part of the VAIO family. He's going to join us live here from Gardena, California. And as some of you may recall, VAIO was once the PC brand of Sony, but since then they have become their own corporation and they are really leading the pack here in innovation in the electronic space. So I can't wait to learn more about what VAIO is up to now from Eric. So let's bring him into the conversation again. Live from Gardena is Eric Hladilek. Hey Eric, how are you?
Fine, Noelle. Nice to talk to you today.
Hi, good to have you here. Okay, Eric, so let's jump in. Tell me, I mentioned a little bit about this in my intro, how VAIO was once a part of Sony. If you could explain the history a little bit more, we would love to learn more about it.
Sure. So, as many people might remember, Sony VAIO started off in the late 90s, 1990s, and they're a very popular brand through the 2000s. I think they had some of the top market share, maybe around 2005. But over the years, through kind of competition, they kind of lost their edge. So I think it was around 2013 that Sony decided to basically spin off the VAIO brand. So another group of investors bought the VAIO brand, and they actually bought the factory, and they hired back about 300 of the old Sony VAIO employees, and they restarted the company in 2014 as an independent company. So they retained a lot of that kind of Sony VAIO DNA because it was basically the birthplace of the Sony VAIO in Japan, where they bought the factory and the employees. So a lot of that kind of legacy staff and legacy DNA are still retained. And they've gone through kind of a change and focus in what they're doing. Instead of doing kind of a mass market approach, they're kind of doing more focused on business laptops nowadays.
Got it. Okay, and we were talking a little bit about this before we kicked off the interview, but tell me again the city in which VAIO is now headquartered in Japan.
Sure. It's a small kind of I think, skiing hamlet. It's called Azumino, Japan. And it's in the prefecture, or kind of the state called Nagano, which is very close to where they had the 1998 Olympics. So it's kind of in that area. It's in the Japanese Alps, what they call it. It's a beautiful place. I've been there a couple of times and visited the factory, and I can see how the engineers and the staff can really get into their work. They can really focus on bringing the best of the VAIO back.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. So since becoming its own corporation in 2014, Eric, how has the brand sort of evolved? You touched on this a little bit, but how has it evolved, and how does it continue to evolve and really kind of get back in the game?
Sure. So I think, back in the Sony VAIO days, they were probably really focused more on mass market, trying to make a different laptop, a different computer for everyone. But since they restarted the brand in 2014, they've really been focused on bringing out the best of the best and focusing on laptops for business professionals. So all of the VAIO laptops we sell here in the US are actually made in Japan, designed in Japan. And they use some really innovative Japanese technology in terms of materials and design and performance to bring out the best of the best. So it's really made for somebody who wants a laptop with no compromise. So it's a different strategy. It's very focused. It's a niche market. But I think if they're able to kind of focus on just one thing and do what they can to make it the best, I think they come out with an exceptional product.
Definitely. Now, what would you say is kind of, again, you're sort of touching on all of these points, but what would you say is the VAIO difference?
Sure. So, I've been with VAIO since about 2015. And it's interesting because a lot of our customers these days are legacy Sony VAIO customers. Maybe they got a Sony VAIO back in 2005 or 2008 or 2010. So the interesting thing is, they're still using those old Sony VAIO laptops, kind of as a backup model. And that's one of the reasons they want to buy another VAIO, is because they had such a great experience and it's lasted for 10 or 15 years and it just doesn't break down. It keeps going. So I think this is one of the key differences. They're making products that are built to last in terms of the ability to use the product, the functionality, and the build quality, the materials. They don't want to make something that people have to replace after every couple of years. That's really not what they want. They want people to be happy with it and continue using it for as long as they want until, they want instead of having the hardware give up, maybe the customer will give up and decide to use something different. But VAIO is making things that are kind of built to last. So I think that's really the key VAIO difference.
Definitely. Well, and I can attest to that. I remember my mom had a VAIO laptop. She's an entrepreneur. And so growing up, she would bring her VAIO laptop to soccer practice, to theater rehearsal with me. And she was always, working while she was taking us kids, from place to place. And I remember actually very vividly watching her work on it. And I just noticed how, portable it was. And she had it for years. I mean, this was the laptop that she used for years. I think she just recently recycled it and, of course, replaced it with a newer version of VAIO. So definitely, I've seen that play out in action in real life, kind of the longevity of the hardware and the software of the VAIO laptops. Let's talk about the VAIO Z, which I have here with me, which we carry at b8ta. So we showcase the VAIO Z at b8ta. So across the country in our b8ta stores, you can head on into b8ta and actually check it out. Our b8ta testers will give you a demo of the laptop right there in the store. And really, truly, I mean, it's one of those things that you have to, I think, really see to believe. This laptop weighs less than 2.3 pounds. It's just amazing. So I highly encourage everyone, if you're interested in a VAIO laptop, go into b8ta and just pick it up. Pick it up before you even see any of the graphics or, check out, what's inside. Just pick it up. You will be absolutely amazed. And let's talk a little bit more, Eric, about the lightweight aspect of the laptop. How did VAIO manage to create something, like I said, that weighs in at less than 2.3 pounds?
Sure. So, the VAIO Z line has actually been kind of innovative in terms of technology. They launched the first one in 2010, and they've kind of been the forefront of trying to find the best technology in terms of performance and lightweight materials and durability. Mm-hmm. So, nowadays, many companies or some other companies are using carbon fiber. But, not just using carbon, VAIO wanted to come out with a laptop that wasn't just, a typical carbon fiber laptop. So they talked to, carbon fiber specialists and came up with a design that actually allowed them to kind of bend the carbon fiber. And so that's what we have today. So the VAIO Z is what we call a contoured carbon fiber laptop. So it's carbon fiber on all of the edges, the top, the bottom, and on the inside where the keyboard keyboard plate is as well. So when you can bend the carbon fiber around all the edges, it adds basically durability and decreases the weight across the entire laptop.
Yeah, durability obviously is a huge, component of this laptop. And if you head over to our YouTube channel, you guys will see we did a video recently, a b8ta unboxed video, where I actually physically pick up the laptop and drop it. And that's because VAIO has done a drop test at, what is it, around 4 feet? Is that right?
Correct, yeah. 4 feet.
Wow. 4 feet. Okay, and that was an increase of about 2 feet from the original, height of the drop test. So tell me a little bit more about that test and kind of how VAIO measured the strength and durability of the VAIO Z when they were in the development process.
Sure. So there's something out there called mil-spec, I think. Some of the people, watching this might have heard that. Basically, it's military specification. So the U.S. government, the military, has a specification for durability on all of their, things that they buy. And so they designed this test for laptops as well. So basically, it's dropping at certain height. It's dropping it on edges. It has to do with humidity. It has to do with many of those things that a person out in the field would encounter if they were using a laptop in the environment. So VAIO took those standards and said, we can do all of these standards on a business laptop. And this is probably one of the first business laptops to ever, meet and be designed to those military spec standards. So they're dropping it on edges. As you mentioned, they drop it at 4 feet. And so, if you're just a business traveler and the laptop falls off the desk, basically it's designed to handle those types of shocks and drops and keep working.
Wow, amazing. And obviously, I know VAIO doesn't encourage people, right, to be dropping their laptops on purpose. But if you do have that kind of whoopsie moment, it's very cool that it can handle it. And especially like you're saying with business, I mean, if you're traveling, there's a lot of rough and tumble that this might go through. So great to know that it can take all of that. Let's talk a little bit about the processor, Eric, because I understand that it performs, and I've seen it perform at top speeds, and a processor, that's able to perform at this level is not typically found in a laptop this lightweight. So tell me a little bit more about that and how VAIO managed to pair the two together.
Sure. So, it uses an Intel processor, which is very common in laptops, and it uses the Intel, i7, which is one of the top performing chips out there. However, there's many different types of Intel i7 processors, and the VAIO Z uses the H series processor. So it's a little technical, but the H series processor actually produces a lot of heat and has really high performance, and it's usually used for desktop environments, for creators or people who don't need the mobility but need high performance, or for example, a gamer and a nice heavy duty gaming laptop. So this H processor is actually super high performance, but it produces a lot of heat. And so when you have that type of issue, you need to be able to cool the laptop using fans and cooling technology. So through innovation in technology and materials, VAIO has been able to design this VAIO Z to incorporate the H series processor, the best of the best, and keep it cool enough so that people can use it all day long. So this kind of breakthrough is actually very hard to do. And so I encourage people to go to b8ta and give this a try, and they'll be surprised about the performance that this laptop can deliver.
Absolutely, yes. Everyone needs to go, like I said, go to b8ta, check it out in person. You can also learn more about it on b8ta.com as well. Eric, can you tell me a little bit about some of the innovative technical achievements that VAIO has achieved with the release of the VAIO Z?
Sure. So one of the things they've added is VAIO sensing. So this is a VAIO invented technology built on some of the other components and software in the market. And so when you open the laptop up, there's a camera. Everybody uses the video camera. But what you can do is you can have this camera record your facial image. So as soon as you open up the computer, instead of having to type your password to log into it, the camera identifies you and can log in just a few seconds. So it's basically, I've been using this since we got the laptops a couple months ago, and I've never had an experience where it didn't recognize me, even with glasses on, headphones on. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I even tested it with an animal. I put my dog in this chair, and it doesn't recognize that. It only recognizes the person that they have, the facial that they've recorded into the computer. So that's a really convenient and powerful way to, get to work quickly, I think.
Definitely. And of course, you've got added security with that facial recognition technology, which is something that I don't think we're used to having on our laptops. We're used to them, on smaller tablet devices or phones. But so cool. And I also love too, I want to point out that there is you can close the camera shutter on this laptop, which is another feature that I really love, because so many people are putting, tape, a piece of paper, right, coloring with the Sharpie to try to get it, blacked out. And especially now with, so much virtual communication happening, we're on Zoom all the time, Microsoft Teams. It's just nice to be able to kind of click it off at the end of the day and know that your camera is totally shut off. Who would you say, we've talked a little bit about, obviously this is great for business and travel, but who would you say the VAIO Z is really perfect for?
I would say, the business professional, person who needs to use their laptop, from the morning when they wake up, 6 or 7 to check the market, and then have video conference meetings all day long, run really, intensive Excel programs to calculate, financial results. and then, use it all the way to the end of the day if they want to watch a video at home, watch a Netflix video. Basically, it's going to last, 12, 15, 16 hours. So, that person who has something to do all day long on their laptop and doesn't want any compromise, that's who this is designed for.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Eric, that just reminded me just sort of another feature that I really love is kind of how it sits sort of at this this incline, so it's really easy to type for long extended periods of time. If you're someone that's going to be working, crunching numbers, or I don't know, writing some sort of proposal over multiple hours, I mean, it's going to be a lot more comfortable on your wrists and your hands and everything to be kind of typing at this angle. So another thing that I love that VAIO has kind of taken into account in the design here. So what is it about VAIO or the VAIO Z, I should say, Eric, and VAIO computers in general that you personally love so much?
Right. So, I like to buy things that have good design and are lightweight. And because I do a lot of traveling for business, and and I want things that I like to look at. Anything that I'm going to spend money on, I want to be proud that I own something that looks good. So, for example, if I buy a suitcase, I'm going to check, is this suitcase lighter than this suitcase? To make sure that I can put all my stuff in it and not have any issues when I get on the plane. So, the VAIO Z is lightweight, as you mentioned, under 2.3 pounds, and it's just beautiful to look at, and it's eye-catching. So when you're in an environment, when everybody's, using other laptops, and you come in and you're the only person in the room with a VAIO, you stand out a little bit, and you feel good about yourself. And I think, personally, that's the type of product that I want to use.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. And with all of those, really cool, innovative features that we talked about, you're really going to kind of stand out and stand apart from everybody else. And yeah, I mean, I also love how sleek this is. This is the Signature Black, which the VAIO Z comes in Signature Black. And this is 14 inches as well. So nice and, nothing too bulky, but you're still going to, especially with like the processor, the graphics and everything, I mean, it packs a punch in a very small frame. So love this laptop. Eric, tell me what we can expect from VAIO in the future. I know you might not be able to share too much, but anything you can give us, we'd love to hear.
Sure. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any concrete information to share, but VAIO has always been about innovation and technology. And trying to be a thought leader in this space. So I believe that, over the next year, 2 years, VAIO is going to continue to come out with innovative technology and try to lead people in this space. I don't think they're going after market volume per se, but, they want to be the people that the company that probably everybody else is going to follow. So I think they're going to maintain that kind of attitude and that kind of, I guess, company mindset when they come out with new products.
Awesome. Well, VAIO certainly has a very rich history, and of course here at b8ta we're really excited about the future and really excited to see all of the future innovations that have yet to come. Eric, thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of b8ta Insider.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining me here as well. We're making new content all the time, so make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. Like I said, head over to b8ta.com to check out VAIO. You can also go to VAIO.com to learn more about the other laptops that they have. And again, this is the VAIO Z. We have it available over in our b8ta stores to experience. So go on in there and check it out with a b8ta tester. It retails for between $2,300 and $4,100. So you guys, I know it's so great to kind of try things out before you make the purchase. So head on into your local b8ta store to experience it now. And we'll see you back here again in the b8ta TV studio for more episodes of b8ta Insider. Bye.